quake watch was in effect primarily yesterday night. However, the seismic increase arrived this morning several hours later with a 5.7 to 5.8 on the southern mid-Atlantic ridge, which struck at 7:30 UTC in the morning, followed by a 5.8 and 5.7 along the Kermadec Trench north of New Zealand. My estimation in the forecast was around 6 or over 6 magnitude. It is slightly lower. However, these are the largest earthquakes in almost 4 days, because since the 12th there was no magnitude 5.5 or greater. But admittedly, the seismic increase arrived late. In the previous video I also showed the upcoming peaks, that is a lunar peak 12 on the index today, followed by a planetary peak tomorrow afternoon, and also quite a lunar peak on the 19th, followed by a planetary peak on the 20th. While the second peak is 14 on the index on the 19th, I believe that the first lunar peak is much more critical in combination with the following planetary peak. This is contrary to what I said yesterday, but further analysis shows that this combination could be pretty critical, extremely critical actually, and this situation is very similar to the geometry in January 2018 that triggered the magnitude 7.9 earthquake in the Gulf of Alaska. To illustrate this, let's have a look at the current situation in the solar system. We see the moon in an alignment with Neptune. We also see Mercury, Venus and Neptune almost in an exact alignment, and the alignment will be exact tomorrow. This geometry can be extremely critical. Going back to January 20th, 2018, we also see the moon in an alignment with Neptune. And we see that Neptune was closely aligned also with Mercury and Venus. And this was in the afternoon on the 20th. 2.5 to 3 days later, early on the 23rd, the 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck in the Gulf of Alaska. This, for me, was a huge eye-opener. We could be facing a similar situation, which means that we could have a large earthquake in the next 3 days. However, if a large earthquake is going to be triggered by this particular geometry, it doesn't necessarily have to be 3 days later. It could be from anywhere later today to the 19th, early on the 19th probably. But this is the kind of geometry that we should take very seriously. And in a worst case scenario, we could be looking at a megafrost earthquake over 8 magnitude. Whoa. We know the Earth doesn't produce those large earthquakes very often, so there certainly is no guarantee that it is going to happen this time, but we should anticipate it just in case. And let's hope that if such a large earthquake is going to strike, it is not going to be in California, because what would be the odds that a similar large earthquake would strike around the same time as the Great San Francisco earthquake in 1906, which was on April 18th. This is the most critical geometry today and tomorrow. And while the moon is lining up this afternoon with Neptune, we see that the alignment Mercury, Venus, Neptune will be exact tomorrow night, 22:18 UTC. We also see earlier tomorrow Mercury, Sun, Mars, so we're actually dealing with 2 planetary alignments. But the Mercury, Sun, Mars alignment is not known to be very critical. You can be sure that I pick out this particular geometry very, very carefully. I don't want to scare anyone, but we sure want to anticipate large seismic activity. This will be the geometry tomorrow, and we see the moon lining up with Venus, but that in itself would produce a low 6 to mid 6 magnitude earthquake. But with the moon's alignment this afternoon with Neptune, things are much, much more critical. So be in watch, just in case. Until next time.
Wow. Okay, saints, heads up. Stay close to the Father. I just posted a dream yesterday about I saw a major earthquake happen in California. That was one of several dreams the Father gave me. Anyway, we'll stay in prayer for the people in California. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye now.